Before I started this program with Jake, I felt like I was a bit all over the place. I wasn't clear on what direction I was heading, but I had all of these ideas and all of these visions that were wanting to come through. I was really up in my head and like not mentally grounded. And that's when I was drawn to Jake's work and felt guided to do that because I knew that I could get a mixture of self-development and the mental health space. But also, I was guided to working with Jake because I was trying to bring through these really big ideas. And there's a lot that's wanting to birth through me and be created. But I just didn't have that space or that facilitation to just really help me come into it and feel okay with it because parts of me were freaking out. And something that Jake really helped me through was being like, okay, you've got this thing, so let's take it step by step. We're recognizing this part's playing out. We're recognizing that this is wanting to come through. This is the action. You need rest here. And from the work and knowing Jake, I knew that he was going to be able to help me. But that was the gut knowing. And then as I watched it unfold, I was like, I made the right decision. One of the biggest wins that I had come out of working with Jake was developing a new sense of self-confidence. There was a part of me that was really searching outwards externally for self-confidence, and Jake made me realize that it was actually already within me, but it was about lighting it up again and seeing what my own self-confidence looked like rather than someone trying to define my self-confidence. It took a couple of weeks and sessions to like really get my head around that, but then I felt it deep within me. I was like, okay, this is how I do things, and I have confidence in what I'm going to bring through into the world because I'm doing it my way. So that was a huge thing for me. The other big shift for me was changing my perspective on my story about who I am. So really learning about that victim archetype and the types of labels that I was putting on myself, and actually realizing that most of the time the way I was defining myself was actually a natural part of the process for me healing or moving through something or simply preparing myself for something bigger. So that was like a big life-changing thing for me. For example, like PTSD, I was labeling myself with that. But then Jake was able to show me this new way to perceive it and to see it as something that my body was just trying to process what had happened to me. And that with my new self-confidence, I was able to give myself what I needed to take myself through whatever was coming up. During the time working with Jake, I had two extremely powerful moments that came up. The first one was actually recognizing that there's different parts of me that are playing out in certain situations and how triggers will bring in those people, like parts of me to play out. And so learning about how to recognize a trigger, which could be so small, it could just be as simple as someone walked past me and I'm like triggered from that. And usually in the past, I would go on this kind of what I refer to as the spiral and getting caught up in it and going on for days, making up stories. Now I can realize, oh, there was a trigger. This part of me is playing out. What do I need? And is this something I need to work on and work through? And it just allows me time to actually be with myself and understand myself better before projecting, especially if a trigger is coming from a loved one. Also, I feel like I'm having more fun in my life because I'm like, oh, that like 20-year-old party girl wants to come out this weekend. So what can I do to meet her needs with the current version of myself as well? So it's just made life a lot easier and much more fun. The second powerful experience, and this is more of like a personal thing where I started to recognize myself as an artist and starting to really step into these different parts of myself because I was rejecting a lot of it and just trying to put a label there. But when I started to recognize and feel it, because I started to understand the different parts of myself, I'm able to now embody that and go out and go, that's the action I need to take. And things are already happening. As soon as I recognized it, I've already got these opportunities just coming my way. I'm feeling is more centered and grounded back into my true nature and myself. Because after going through some time where I was so unsure of who I was, what was going on, I was in my head so much, I actually feel like now I've come back down into my body and I'm so aware and I can witness all the things around me that's internally within myself. But still, everything is just working and flowing. My mind and my heart are working together, my gut feelings are working together. I feel like I have my joyful, bubbly self back. How I'm feeling now after working with Jake is that I have a clearer vision of where I'm heading. It's like actually feeling stable in myself, that I know where I'm going long term, which is something I haven't had in a long time because that freaks me out. I feel like now I'm prepared for the future. Almost feel like I've kind of grown up as well in a sense, where I'm like really taking care of myself and having all these different perceptions and understandings of myself. I'm like, yeah, all right, I got this. I know where I'm going. While working with Jake, I was able to manifest quite a few different things that were very important to me. One of them was that I manifested a paid DJ gig, which is something that I've been trying to bring in for a while. In our sessions, Jake gives you belief statements to repeat, and I was finding that I would get them that night and then start reading them out. And over the next few days, it would all play out. I was given belief statements around DJing and accepting that I'm an artist and being okay with who I am and how I express myself in music. And literally, it's been like a week since I've started saying them, and I already landed something because my mind is starting to believe that, and I'm trusting that I'll be delivered what is in highest alignment for me. If you're thinking of working with a coach, I'd highly suggest working with Jake. If you're looking for a balance between that kind of self-development, spirituality, conscious area, but also that psychological mental health view, because it's something that I wanted. I wanted to bring the two worlds together. So it was my human experience and my soul's work both being met. And I think that Jake holds amazing space for that. He's able to link them together. And it's been a game changer because it means that you're able to live much more of a grounded, balanced life instead of being too up here or too down there. I would also suggest this for people who, like, for me, I'm working through a lot of building trust again, especially with men and males. And Jake was able to really guide me and hear me when I was expressing like, oh, I feel like I'm not sure if I can like be emotional right now or share this type of stuff. So by working with him and having that safe space, I've now been able to gain more trust with men and get closer to men as well in having a bit more vulnerability with them. Also tapping in a little bit more to my feminine and being like, yeah, all right, I'm comfortable with this.